I'm sure you've heard of inertia from physics class. Things in motion tend to stay in motion unless there's some outside force acting on them. Well, how does that apply to math? Well, the toughest part about a math question is usually getting started. Especially on the SAT, what you're going to find is that the people who make it, the College Board, they have a way of making a problem look really difficult when it's really not. My name is Paul Pasolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center at ivymasters.com. And today we're going to look at Test 5, Section 3, Number 9, which reads, if xy is a solution to the system of equations above and x is greater than 0, what is the value of xy? So, whenever you're looking at a system of equations, first thing you should ask yourself is, should I eliminate or substitute? So, for this one, we're going to substitute for two reasons. Number one, the y is already isolated. And number two, usually when you've got a system where you've got one linear and one quadratic, substitution is the way to go. So if we sub in x squared for your y here, then what we get is 2x squared plus 6 equals 2 times x plus 3. Now, we're going to do something here that most of you probably would not do, but it's a shortcut. It's going to make the question much simpler. Since 2 is multiplying this whole side, I could divide that by 2. And since I could divide the right side by 2, I could divide the left side by 2 if each monomial, that's my 2x squared and my 6, if they're both multiples of 2. And I can. So when I divide the whole thing by 2, it's the same as dividing them individually by 2. And what I wind up with is x squared plus 3 equals x plus 3. And now what do? I subtract x from both sides. I've got x squared minus x plus 3 equals 3. And then if I subtract 3 from both sides, I wind up getting x squared minus x equals 0. And there's a couple of ways you could finish this. One way is I could take an x out, and I've got x minus 1 equals 0. And then I could set each of these equal to 0. X equals 0, and x minus 1 equals 0. And if x minus 1 equals 0, then x equals 1. Now notice up here it says x is greater than 0, so I have to throw out x equals 0 as a solution. Well, if x equals 1, I got to solve for y because I need xy. So if I plug my x into the first equation, then what I get is y equals 1 squared. Well, 1 squared is 1, so y equals 1. So if x equals 1 and y equals 1, what's xy? It's 1. Answer choice A is your correct answer. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has trouble with systems of equations, especially when it involves a quadratic. If there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.